Imagine strolling down a street lined with grandiose mansions, each telling a story of opulence and grandeur from a bygone era. This was the reality of Riverside Drive in Manhattan during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The historic boulevard stretching along the Hudson River was lined with architectural marvels, each more lavish than the last, showcasing the architectural brilliance and extravagance of the Gilded Age. But what happened to these incredible mansions? Why have they vanished from the landscape of New York City? Let's uncover the secrets of these lost mansions and the tales they told. Number 1. Paterno Castle. Let's start the list with a structure so bold and unique that it left an indelible mark on the history of New York City's architecture. The mastermind behind this grandiose project was Charles V. Paterno, a name synonymous with luxury and extravagance in the early 20th century. Paterno, you see, was a man who dared to bring his wildest fantasies to life. So, in 1905, he embarked on a journey to create something unprecedented and commissioned architect John C. Watson to design a castle, or better to say, a real-life fortress that would dominate the landscape. The result? Paterno Castle, a 4-story marvel that cost an astonishing $500,000 at the time, a figure that would raise eyebrows even today. The castle was designed to mimic the romantic castles of the Rhineland, and it stood majestically at 125 feet above the Hudson, offering breathtaking views that were the envy of many. But Paterno Castle was more than just its exterior grandeur. Inside, it was a world of luxury and comfort, a haven for its inhabitants. Among its many offerings was a unique swimming pool surrounded by bird cages, creating an exotic and serene ambience. The castle also boasted a specialized mushroom cellar, a rare and intriguing addition that showcased the owner's eclectic tastes. The grandeur extended to a massive hall, measuring 20 by 80 feet, which was likely used for lavish gatherings and social events. This hall, along with the rest of the castle's interior, was adorned with exquisite decorations and furnishings. But as with many great things, the Paterno Castle's glory was not eternal. The changing tides of time and the evolution of New York City's landscape meant that this magnificent structure would not last forever. The demolition of Paterno Castle in 1938 marked the end of an era for Riverside Drive's architectural landscape. The decision to demolish this magnificent structure in 1938 was made by Charles V. Paterno himself, who envisioned a new future for the site. In place of the castle, Paterno planned to construct a complex of modern apartment towers known as Castle Village. Number 2. Baines Mansion. At number 2, among the jewels of Riverside Drive was the Baines Mansion. This remarkable structure, with its imposing brick and stone facade, was a masterpiece that commanded attention and admiration. The story begins with Samuel Gamble Bane, a banker who, originally from Ireland, emigrated to Pennsylvania in 1870, where he transitioned from being a linen manufacturer in Belfast to venturing into the oil business. His success in oil led him to acquire small banks throughout Pennsylvania, amassing a fortune that would enable him to realize his ambitions in New York City. In 1889, thus, Bane, with his vision and wealth, chose to build his home in what was then considered the wilderness of Riverside Drive and 108th Street. Bane, however, being an urban pioneer with a vision, foresaw the potential of this undeveloped area with its breathtaking views of the Hudson River and the Palisades. His choice of location was a bold statement, considering the time frame. But guess what? So was the mansion. The banking magnate's mansion was designed by the architect Frank Freeman, keeping in view a harmonious blend of robust Romanesque features and elegant Victorian elements. Its squared angles, massive entrance arch, and dormers with a complex red-tiled roof added dimension and character to the structure. Upon entering the mansion, one would be greeted by a soaring 4-story corner pavilion, which immediately set the tone for the opulence within. The interior was adorned with rows of closely grouped openings that allowed natural light to flood the rooms, creating an ambience of warmth and grandeur. The southern roofline of the mansion was sweeping, adding a sense of dynamism to the structure. The mansion boasted balconies and bays that provided dimension and character to the living spaces. These features were not just decorative, but also functional, offering stunning views of the surrounding landscape. The squared angles of the corner porch were juxtaposed interestingly with a massive entrance arch, creating a visual spectacle that was both imposing and inviting. The woodwork was intricate, the furnishings opulent, and the art collection spoke of Baines' refined taste. However, the Baines Mansion, like many others, eventually succumbed to the pressures of modernization and urban development. Today, the Baines Mansion lives on only in photographs and the memories of those who witnessed its grandeur. Following the fate of the Baines Mansion, another remarkable story from the same era unfolds with the Seaman Drake Estate in Manhattan's Inwood neighborhood. Number 3. Seaman Drake Estate. This tale begins in 1851, when John Ferris Seaman, a man of vision and wealth, bought 25 acres of land in Inwood. His dream? To create an estate that would serve as a symbol of his stature in society. In 1855, this vision took physical form with the construction of a grand mansion. Constructed of gleaming white marble, it stood proudly atop a hill, overlooking the surrounding area with an air of regal dignity. Upon entering, visitors were greeted by an opulent foyer, setting the tone for the grandeur that lay within. The floors were adorned with intricately designed marble, while chandeliers crafted with meticulous attention to detail hung from the high ceilings, illuminating the mansion with a warm, inviting light. The heart of the mansion was its grand ballroom, with its polished wooden floors and ornate wall decorations. Large windows draped in heavy, luxurious curtains allowed natural light to flood the room, adding to its majestic ambience. The mansion's dining room was also a masterpiece of elegance and sophistication. A large polished dining table stood at the center, surrounded by high-backed chairs upholstered in the finest fabrics. The Seaman Drake Estate also boasted a library, a haven for the intellectually inclined. Shelves lined with books on various subjects reached from floor to ceiling, offering a wealth of knowledge to its visitors. Comfortable seating areas were strategically placed around the room, providing a perfect spot for quiet reading or contemplation. The estate's bedrooms were nothing short of a sanctuary. Each room was uniquely decorated, featuring plush bedding, elegant furniture, and soft, inviting color schemes. The attention to detail was evident in every aspect. But the mansion was just the beginning. The estate was famous for its large white marble entrance arch, rumored to have cost a fortune. It was said to be a scale model of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, standing 35 feet tall and 20 feet wide, symbolizing the estate's connection to European elegance and style. The grounds of the estate were equally impressive. Spread across 25 acres, the outdoors featured manicured lawns, ornate fountains, and an array of sculptures. Sadly, though, the downfall of the Seaman Drake Estate began with a family feud over the inheritance. After the death of the original owners, the Seaman family, the estate became the subject of a legal battle. This dispute centered around the will and the distribution of the estate's assets. The prolonged legal wrangling drained the estate's resources and left it vulnerable. Adding to the estate's woes was the Great Depression, a period that saw a significant downturn in the economy. The financial strain of this era was felt deeply by the owners of the estate. In a desperate move to stay afloat, the Dwyer family, who had acquired the property, decided to sell it to developers in 1938. The ones who purchased the estate had little interest in preserving the historic mansion. Their focus was on capitalizing the land's value in a rapidly urbanizing New York City, and this mansion was seen as an obstacle to modern development. Consequently, the developers demolished the mansion to make way for new apartment buildings. The only remnant of the Seaman Drake Estate is the arch, which too faced challenges. A fire in 1970 severely damaged the structure, hastening its deterioration. If you find these stories of lost grandeur as intriguing as we do, please consider subscribing and sharing. Your support enables us to continue uncovering and sharing these fascinating tales. Number 3. The Schwab Mansion. Next up, we have the Schwab Mansion, a 75-room behemoth that screamed luxury and power. Built for Charles M. Schwab, the steel magnate, between 1902 and 1906, this castle in the heart of New York City was so grand that it took up an entire city block. Yes, you heard that right, an entire block. This was no ordinary home. It was the largest ever built in Manhattan at the time, a testament to Schwab's immense wealth and ambition. But what else except its size made it so special? Inside, the mansion boasted a gym, a bowling alley, and even a swimming pool. Luxury at its finest, right? But wait, there's more. The mansion had not one, not two, but 3 elevators. In the early 1900s, this was almost unheard of. It was like having a modern-day skyscraper, but for a single family. What's even better is that the interiors were nothing short of a royal palace. Each room had its unique style, showcasing Schwab's taste for the finer things in life. The mansion was a melting pot of architectural styles, a visual feast for anyone lucky enough to step inside. But as grand as it was, the Schwab Mansion story takes a dramatic turn. Fast forward to 1947, and the once bustling mansion stood eerily empty. The glory days were over, and the mansion was demolished. But why did this happen? The answer lies in the changing tides of time and fortune. The Great Depression, coupled with Schwab's financial decline, marked the beginning of the end for the mansion. Schwab, who once again enjoyed immense wealth, faced financial hardships later in life. The upkeep of such a massive property became unsustainable, and finally, its owner had to give way. Prior to its destruction, a fire sale was held, marking a symbolic end to the mansion's grandeur. The demolition process itself was a notable event, drawing public attention to the loss of one of New York's architectural treasures. In 1948, however, the mansion was laid to rest, and by 1950, it was replaced by the Schwab House, an 18-story building, red brick apartment complex.